Hi, I'm Matt. Today's video lesson is about using there is and there are. We use there is and there are when we talk about objects and people. So let's find out more. Let's have a look around my room. What do I have? There is a bag. There is a desk. On my desk, there are pens. Let's look at the sentences and focus on the underlined words. Can you find the word there and see what it refers to? That's right, there is refers to a bag and a desk. There are refers to pens. Let's look carefully at those sentences. What do the words there is tell us about the objects? There is a bag tells us that a bag exists and it is in my room. I can point to it and we can see it. There is a desk, again, tells us that a desk exists and it is in my room. I can point to it and we can see it too. What do the words there are tell us about the pens? There are pens tells us that pens are present on my desk. I can point to them and you can see them. So, what is the meaning of the phrases there is and there are, and when do we use them? There is and there are mean that something is present or exists. We can use these phrases to refer or point to an object in a place. You can also use there is and there are to refer to a person or people. You can use there is for singular and uncountable nouns. For plural nouns, you can use there are. Let's look at a few examples. There is an apple. In this example, an apple exists and it is being referred to. As there is only one apple, we use there is because apple is a singular noun. There is some milk in the fridge. In this example, milk exists and it is being referred to. Milk is an uncountable noun. So we use there is and not there are. There are pens on the desk. In the last example, many pens are on the desk and they are being referred to. As there are many pens, we use there are because pens is a plural noun. Let's move on. Let's focus on how we can make sentences with there is and there are. In the first example, I said, there is a bag. When we talk about an object or a person in a place or room, we use there is and the object or person being referred to. We use there is for singular nouns and uncountable nouns. We can use the short form when we speak. The short form of there is becomes theirs. We remove the I and replace it with an apostrophe. Let's look at some examples. There is a pen. There's a customer in the shop now. There's some cheese in the fridge. What about when you have many objects or people in a place or a room? In the other example from before, I said, there are pens. When there are two or more objects or people, you use the plural form. You use there are along with the objects or people. Let's look at some examples. There are 2 glasses on the table. There are some people in the park. There are many potatoes in the bag. How about making the negative form of there is or there are? How can you form them? To create the negative form, you use there is or there are followed by not. The short forms are there isn't and there aren't. Let's look at some examples. There isn't a table. There aren't 5 apples. There are only 2. There aren't any shirts to wear. What about making questions with there is and there are? To create questions, you place the verb to be first, followed by there. Let's look at some examples. Is there a bag in the room? Are there any cakes left? Now you can use there is and there are in sentences. And today we covered when we use there is and there are, using there is and there are in sentences and the negative form, and making questions with there is and there are. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson.